Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're excited to have you join us today for Metadata Made Easy, faster, smart workflows for photographers and agencies. My name is Jason Stebbing, and I'll be guiding us through the webinar. Today, I'm joined by two thought leaders with decades of experience in the photo industry. Scott Calder, CEO of Newscom, has seen firsthand how messy, missing, or inconsistent metadata can slow down image contributors and agencies. And Rémy Le Morvan, CEO of MaxPPP, will share real-world use cases on how his team is already using metadata AI to save time and improve metadata accuracy at scale. Before we dive in, a couple of quick notes. Today's webinar presentation will run about 30 minutes. We'll take some time at the end for questions and answers, so please drop your questions into the questions panel at any time during this session. And as a thank you for attending, you'll receive 100 free credits to test metadata AI on your own images. Here's how we'll spend the next half hour. First, Scott will share why metadata accuracy is mission critical and detail the value in getting metadata right. Next, Rémy will walk us through how his team structures AI prompts and processes metadata for their workflows. Finally, we'll wrap up with questions and answers and remind you how to claim your 100 free credits. Now, with everything set, I'd like to bring Scott Calder, CEO of Newscom, onto the stage. Scott, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Jason. Hey, we appreciate all of your joining us today, and I hope that this will be an enjoyable and hopefully instructive and fun description of one of the new suite of AI products that we at Newscom and Mainstream Data are making available to our customers and partners. And we appreciate your being here. So thank you very much. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes up front to talk about the overview of metadata AI. But the real heart of the show is going to be our friend Rémy Le Morvan from MaxPPP, who's been using metadata AI now for 6 months or so, probably longer, and who is, in all fairness, one of the real experts on this use of this application. So Tom, if you'd throw my slides up, I would appreciate it. So, first of all, what are we going to be talking about today? An introduction, very briefly. Who is Newscom? Who is MaxPPP? And who is Mainstream Data? Next, what is this new product that we've created called Metadata AI? What is the use case? Why should someone actually use it? How does it work? And then we'll turn the time over to Rémy for a demonstration of how he uses metadata AI at MaxPPP. And as Jason mentioned earlier, we're leaving some time at the end for questions and answers, of which I'm sure there will be a large number. If not, also on the last slide, after we're done, will be an email address that you can contact us at if you have other questions. So, who are Newscom, MaxPPP, and Mainstream? Well, Newscom, I'm sure most, if not all of you know, is a global photo agency, although we do also have other types of digital media in addition to images, graphics, video, and text news stories. And it comes from more than 100 news agencies around the world, which we license to thousands of websites, newspapers, magazines, broadcasters, and book publishers. I would say, in general, our strongest suit is book publishers and North America. MaxPPP is a prominent, and I mean this very seriously, an extraordinarily innovative French news agency that provides visual content distribution with offices in Nice, where Rémy is located most of the time, and Paris. Mainstream Data is the parent company of Newscom, and we have been a technology provider to news and photo agencies since I founded the business in 1985. So we've been around a long time, as you can tell from this white hair. So what is metadata AI? Well, it's a new technology that we built which was intended to solve a problem of either poor or inconsistent or non-descriptive metadata that was attached to both editorial and creative images. And as you all know, the problem with having poor quality or inconsistent quality metadata is that images become increasingly difficult to find and therefore to license. So if one creates better metadata, then the odds are that images are more likely to be licensed. So Metadata AI, this new product, allows you to choose the AI provider that you select. Can be OpenAI, can be Google Gemini, Mistral, which is the French AI engine, and or others. And in fact, Rémy is going to show us how simple it is to change between different AI engines. The product then automates intelligent image analysis. So it goes through the image, the AI evaluates the image, determines what's in it, does facial recognition as well as identification. And it interestingly also allows you, the user of this application, to provide supplemental information. So you could say, for example, this is a football match between Real Madrid and Benfica on such and such a date. And or you could also insert a web URL from an article around that event, which would deepen the accuracy and the value of the metadata created. And the processing, as you'll see from Rémy's demonstration, takes only a few seconds and is done at very low cost. So why should we use it? Well, it saves time and effort both for photographers, whom we're also targeting. So photographers who may want to use this to save their time, or for agencies. It reduces mistakes and it saves money because it saves time. And as I mentioned, photographers can use it directly, or an agency's professional editorial staff, or both. And we hope and we think, and the indications are that it will create more sales and profits for agencies. How does it work? First of all, and probably most importantly, it allows you, either the editor or the photographer, to customize an artificial intelligence prompt. These are instructions to the artificial intelligence to meet your specific requirements. It then analyzes your thumbnail and any existing metadata, performs facial identification and recognition, and then creates new and or better metadata, and then writes that into the proper IPTC and XMP fields. It has the flexibility so that if your agency, for example, uses particular IPTC fields that may not be the industry standard, that you can customize it to any agency's requirements. Very important. What it does not do, and this is critical because the security we're all concerned about with artificial intelligence, and metadata AI does not use your images for AI training, either by us at Newscom or by the AI provider. So with that, let's go to Rémy, who is going to demonstrate how he uses metadata AI. And don't forget, we'll have questions, time for questions and answers at the end. So Rémy, go ahead. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott. So, hello. I am very happy to show you how Metadata AI helps us greatly in managing our photo workflows. We use MetadataAI to complete the caption for the photo we receive or the photo we take. I consider that manage three main. I consider that we manage three main categories of documents with metadata: news images, stock pictures, and image from the national library, the BNF in France, who come to us with very, very, very little information. And that will be interesting because you will see different sort of documents it's possible to use with metadata. Very useful too. I share the screen now to see you the application. Okay, I think it's okay. I'm going to show you how metadata AI help us to complete our caption very efficiently. I organize, it's very simple to use, whether on Mac or PC, metadata is very easy to use. So I prepare for you for the demonstration 6 different galleries with news pictures, stock pictures, BNF pictures, and also people pictures, and also the possibility, very, very important. Um, we have the possibility with metadata to process several photos at once. And I shall give you the example with people, stock, and other documents. Important in metadata, we have to use prompt. By default, you have pre-made different prompt, but I can give you a good conseil. It's to use its own prompt. You have to create them, and it's so easy to talk with the AI that when you will find the good prompt for the good set of pictures, it will be very efficient for the work. So I have all my prompts here ready to use. I am going first to show you what we can do with news pictures. We have to know that in France we work with the regional daily newspapers. When photographers send us the photo, the captions are sometimes good, sometimes not sufficient. In this case, we supplement them by providing metadata with a link to the article for which the photo were taken, when this article is already online. I'm going to show you an example. I am in the prompt here. I choose the prompt for news pictures. You can read it, write a caption for this photo in no more than 4 sentences. Okay. I can use or not the facial recognition. In this case, for the general news picture, it's not necessary. I do it for people sometimes. Always Wikipedia link, always GPS coordinated to identify the location of the pictures. The output in language will be in English, and I have the choice between different AI, OpenAI, Google AI, and French Mistral AI. And it depends the quality of the prompt and the link with the AI, and you have sometimes very different results. You have to test, and after very few minutes, you will easily understand it. It's easily to do. So we go in I choose this prompt. I go in the news pictures gallery, and I can choose, for example, pictures. We have important affair in France for the moment, and I'm choose to create to give an indication to the AI. It's I give him the in the ad context. I put the address of the article, and now I process the image. Here you have the caption in place, actually, in the pictures, and now you have the new headline. We keep the old caption because we think that it's good to have some details, maybe important, and the new description is also there. I ask also to the AI to give me 10 keywords. Okay, it's you can is it possible you read easily? No problem.
Yes.
Okay, I go now on another pictures in another situation, but with the same affair. It's okay. I use Mistral. I go there and I process. I put also the article there and I process the image. You have the caption, the new caption here. And as you can read, he gave the good situation. Okay, another example. For example, it's I think you understand that on the left side you have the original pictures and caption, and now I'm going also I have also I put here the link to the article. And I have the new caption, the new headline, the keywords, and over possibility, when in need, they go to the link to Wikipedia to take some information, but we can give any link we want. We can print. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the with stock pictures. With stock pictures, the way to work is very different. In fact, we ask in the prompt to the AI to describe the image. It's not at all the same question, and we shall have a result. No facial recognition. Wikipedia okay. Use okay. We change not the we shall talk with Google AI, and I choose, for example, this picture, and I process the image. And you will see that we have it's really a caption for stock picture. We can, if we want, we can, for example, ask to the prompt to add 30 30 keyword, for example. Well, we shall take another image, a rose. You know, the original caption is La Rose Rouge, is a little bit short, you know, and it's okay, and I go. The caption you have here, it's the direct answer to my prompt. If I don't want, for example, to have the dominant color, you can change the prompt. I ask for the dominant color, the dominant mood, and different impression, you know. And this is the result. So what is very interesting right now, it's also with sort of document. It's the document of the BNF, French National Library we represent in France. And we have a very special prompt for such a document. I can change by another, for example, by OpenAI. Very classical document. Okay. On the original caption, we have quite nothing, you know. And now this is the caption we have. But in the same times, we choose to keep this one because we think that a lot of information inside would be very useful for us, you know. Sometimes we have documents a little bit more complex, you know. This is just a portrait, but for example, you have a caricature, and with the prompt we we say if the image is a reproduction of a publication, provide some confirmed information about the publication. So as you can see, they explain exactly what is the pictures, what you have inside. Okay. Now, what is very, very, very interesting is to have the possibility to process several pictures in the same time. For example, with news picture of or people, we don't know. People, it's interesting because in people we can use also the facial recognition. It's our case. So I choose the people prompt I the facial recognition is good, and I'm going to okay for Google, no problem. And we have two pictures. The first one, the second one. I put out the name, because I want to show you. We want to have the name with the AI. And now I'm going to process the gallery, in fact, all the pictures inside the folder. And I have the two captions ready. In the prompt, I ask for some details about the wear, the way they have, the dress they have. Okay, for the first one. And in the second one, it recognize the guy. But
Good.
also in this case, I have more details, But this is not in the IPTC or XML file, but it's details you have in the application you can use. It's very important this possibility to metadata AI to describe a lot of pictures at the same time. I'm going to show you, for example, about 20, 21 images, stock images, and I'm going to put the prompt for illustration. Oops, in English. Okay. And now I'm going to launch the process. Process stock, and all in the same times. And what is important, when you take about 10, 12 seconds for one pictures, one by one, it's very quick when you process all a set of pictures.
Hey, Rémy, while that is working, one of the features that you haven't described is how the output can be in any one of many different languages. So if you wanted the metadata in French, no
Yeah,
problem. If you wanted it in German, in Netherlands, if you wanted it in
yes, yes.
Chinese,
I'm going just to let you can choose the language, the Spanish, French, Korean, I think, or Japanese, Netherlands. For the demo, I choose English. And
right?
now, if you see the new caption, new keywords, original caption, you can see each of them. That's perfect. It's very impressive, in fact. I choose to have 30 keywords. I can choose to have 60, but after you have noises, it's uh it's not necessary, I think, but we can do it. Don't know. and
So,
so on, and
uh,
so on, and so on.
yeah. So I'm starting the questions here, but are you finding in your use of metadata AI that the descriptions are typically accurate?
Another one. I think it's always impressive to see the results when you batch uh, all a folder of picture with so much pictures, you know. And in this case, it's really the description of the image. Scott, I think we can go to the question right now.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Rémy. I appreciate that. The We are going to invite Kyle Swanson to join us for the questions and answers that you may have. And as Jason mentioned earlier, we told you this was going to be 30 minutes, and we've been just past 30 minutes right now. So as any of you have to leave, that's just fine. Although we may have some interesting questions as we move along. So, Jason,
Yes.
why don't you lead us through the questions that you have so far?
Yes, there are several questions. Let me grab the first.
Oh, did I introduce Kyle? Kyle is senior developer and the principal architect and author of the Metadata AI application, and a great guy. So go ahead. First question.
Yes, here's the first question. What is the limit number of images that can be processed at once?
Kyle, why don't you respond to that?
Yeah, so there really isn't uh, in parallel, the limit right now we have set to 6 images. In reality, the number of images in a folder you can process is, thousands. We've tested up to about 3,000, and it takes a while to process all of those, but it runs just fine.
So it runs 6 images in parallel, but the number of images that you can process from a folder is unlimited, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thanks. Another question, Jason?
Yes. As I understand it, the images need to be uploaded into the program. Is it possible to implement the program in the back office within the image workflows, specifying, for example, all the images arriving on this FTP should be processed with this prompt?
That is a great question. And a little history to answer that question. When we developed Metadata AI, that was our initial intent. And Gary Howard, who is our Chief Technology Officer, initially designed the Metadata AI as a process that could be spawned as images came into a folder. What we found as we talked to people like Rémy and our other customers and prospects was that they wanted to have more direct and individual control in many cases. And so that's why we created the app, which Rémy has been demonstrating, as well as the online version. And we haven't mentioned it thus far, but there's also an online version which does not have all of the features that the application Rémy's been demonstrating has, but nevertheless is really simple to use, and you can literally just do it online. But Kyle, I'd like to go to you now and answer that question, which is, can this be integrated into an agency's workflow as opposed to sort of the one-off that has been demonstrated by Rémy?
Yeah, so I think there's two options there. So one, the application does monitor folders you add to it. So as you add images to a folder and remove images from that folder, the application will automatically update, uh, and update the app to not show those images anymore or show new images.
And output the processed images into a different folder.
Yep, exactly.
So in other words, it's built into this application is already the ability to do what the question regarded.
To some extent, yeah. And then as far as automatically processing images that arrive on FTP or some use case like that, the application does have APIs that, if you get in contact with us, I think we'd be happy to, discuss that option more.
Great. Thank you. I had forgotten about the fact that it constantly monitors the folders, so you could have an FTP folder which it monitored and then automatically processed. Back to the history just for 30 seconds. When we built this application, it was initially intended as a convenient way for people to modify and customize their prompts so they could very quickly see what the AI was doing with their images. And then we found that people liked the application so much the way it was that we said, well, maybe this is the product. Is that right, Kyle?
And to add to that, by using the application, you're writing prompts and then you're also customizing the model and metadata fields in the exact same way the API would work. So if you had a prompt set up that works really great for your creative imagery, say, we could talk about incorporating that in other ways as well.
Yeah. Defining that prompt, as Rémy said, is extraordinarily important. And so that's why, as Rémy was demonstrating the application, he had so many prompts up on the screen because right, Rémy, you have to be very specific about the prompt to make it most effective.
Yes, true.
Next question.
Okay. Yes, I think we have time for at least a couple more. Is the new caption located in a separate metadata field? How does the mapping of metadata fields work with our backend? Can this be specified by the user?
Yes.
So
go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, really good question. MetadataAI uses EXIF tool very heavily. So pretty much if a field is supported with EXIF tool, MetadataAI can write to it. And what that means is we can write to XMP fields, EXIF fields, some array of custom fields, and so on. And you can actually customize that per prompt. And we give you options as far as you can say, you must fill the caption abstract field, and here's some additional context on what sort of content I want in that field. So we can fill a vast array of fields.
So the simple answer to that question is yes and yes, right?
Yes.
The other thing that is in development right now is to create profiles. So there would be a profile that would be matched for the output fields to MaxPPP, for example. So if you're shooting for MaxPPP, you would click a button, it would say MaxPPP, and it would populate the fields that MaxPPP uses. Or for Alamy or Reuters or DPA, EPA, so that the system could be easily customized to the photographer's needs, depending upon for whom he is shooting, he or she. Did I tell the truth there, Kyle?
Yeah, yep. Excited for that feature.
I always feel better when I do. What's the next question?
We use a specific set of keywords for our image library. Can a user import their own keywords into the system?
That is a very interesting question. That has to do with customizing the prompt, doesn't it, Kyle?
Yeah, so I think this relates to customizing the prompt and then also the previous EXIF tool note I made. So you would say I want you to write to the keywords field EXIF tool will help you with that in the application. And then in the prompt, you could say only choose from these 30 keywords. And I think so long as your prompt is structured right, you'll probably get pretty good results of only using that subset of keywords.
Okay.
Great.
Do we have time for one more question?
Yes. Let's see. So there are so many great questions. Any questions that we don't get to here, we will answer and send out to all participants. But for this final question, we answered this partially, but maybe we can address it again. It is, how does the program handle multilingualism? For example, can one write a caption and keywords in 3 languages? Example, French, German, and English.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Like we've said several times, I think the prompt is the most key thing here. And the application right now generally guides you to selecting one language for output. And we briefly showed that in the demo. However, I think with the correct prompt and with the correct metadata field set up, you probably could get a result like this.
And we would certainly be happy to consult with you to define that.
Yeah,
out.
I think it's a really interesting use case.
It is an interesting use case, and even to create custom fields, so there could be an English caption and a German caption and a French caption and a Mandarin or a Chinese caption as well as separate fields, or even into the same field. So, yeah. Well, those are great questions. We appreciate that, and of course, we are just delighted to respond to any other issues and questions you have. And of course, Rémy has been amazing in terms of being an early adopter of this technology and directing its development in a very meaningful way forward. And so we're grateful to you, Rémy, and for your willingness to take an hour of your time today. So, Jason, why don't I pass it off to you to close things out?
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. We hope the session sparked new ideas on how metadata AI can strengthen your metadata and complement your workflows. Special thanks to Scott and Rémy and Kyle for sharing their insights and real-world experiences. To register for Metadata AI, click the link at the bottom of your screen or visit metadataai.app. Once you sign up, 100 free credits will be added to your account within 24 hours. You can expect a follow-up email from with Scott's presentation and a link to the recorded webinar to revisit or share with colleagues. We'll also answer any of the questions that we didn't get to in the Q&A session. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.